Listen, today Steve Jobs took the stage in San Francisco and announced some Apple products that a lot of us knew were coming. We got new iPod Nanos, bigger and better classic iPods, new shuffle colors, whee! And then it happened. Jobs announced the iPod Touch, which is essentially the iPhone without the phone. If that wasn't painful enough for the early adopters, though, the iPhone was given a $200 price drop. And with such a big cut only 69 days after launch, some are wondering, is this a good business move for Apple? Or is this a slap in the face to the tens of thousands who waited in line? Do you feel like you just got screwed, maybe? Don't worry. We're going to talk about it. It's The Loop. My guest tonight from San Francisco, editor-in-chief for Engadget.com, Ryan Block is here. And from New York, deputy editor of special reports at Forbes.com, David E. Walt. Welcome to The Loop, everybody. First off, let's get it out there. Come on, who's psyched for the new iPod Nano or Shuffle? Huh? Show of hands. No?
This thing? This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can see. I mean, it's all right.
You're holding pure excitement. You don't seem giddy like a Japanese schoolgirl. What's wrong?
I don't know. I mean, we saw it. We saw leaks of this thing. So, I mean, that always kind of takes some of the romance out of it.
Sure. But now, David, do you think people are going to show up in droves to get their hands on a new Nano? Or?
It's fat, it's stubby, and it doesn't fit anymore in that little pocket on your jeans. That's what was cool about the old Nano. This one,
actually, that's not true. I have it, and I put it in that little pocket, and it does actually fit.
Okay,
it's not going to burst your seams? All right.
Yeah. Not everybody rocks the skinny jeans in SF. Let's get that out there.
Actually, they are skinny jeans.
Wow.
So
you didn't have to admit that on live television, by the way. I was trying to do you a solid, but that's all right. Let's keep it focused on Apple and not on the apparel. Perhaps the worst-kept secret in Apple history. I mean, the iPod Touch was announced. Ryan, who is this product for? I'm still trying to figure out exactly who is going out to get the iTouch.
There are going to be a lot of people who want it because as soon as the iPhone was announced, everyone said, wow, I want that product, but I don't want a phone. I don't want to switch carriers. I don't want to give up the phone that I have, maybe because they already like the device that they're using. They just wanted an iPod that does a whole lot more and has a touchscreen.
Very true. But now, David, for $399, you could grab the 8-gig iPhone, and even if you don't want to switch to AT&T right away, you could conceivably down the road have that functionality. Won't people gravitate towards that instead?
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people are afraid of the whole phone thing and of the service contracts in AT&T. And even if they don't want it as a phone, they're going to go with the iPod version, maybe save a little money, get a smaller version. I think it's going to sell like hotcakes.
Now, Ryan, do you think Apple had this planned all along, that they were going to release this iPod Touch? Or do you think they were reacting to the fact that some people went out, purchased the iPhone simply because they wanted those browsing features?
Oh, it's been planned all along. I mean, products like this take at least 18 months to put out. And the amount of work that Apple put into the iPhone interface is just enormous. They weren't going to waste that on only one product.
Mm-hmm. David, what about the price drop here? Because, the 8-gig iPhone, dropping it by $200. I mean, after only, like 70 days or so. People expect this from Apple, product updates and price slashes. But did anybody expect this drastic change so soon?
Well, I know if I was one of those poor, miserable suckers who spent $600 on this phone to see this price drop, I'd be kind of pissed off right now. But I think it's par for the course, really, is that, true like first adopters and gadget geeks know that this always happens. 2 months is a little fast, but you always have to factor a price drop into your buying decision. You know it's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were going to drop $600 on a phone, you probably didn't care in the beginning how long it was going to take for that price to go down or what carrier it's on or whatever. You wanted the iPhone, doesn't matter.
I completely agree with that. But Ryan, were you surprised at this drastic of a drop this soon?
It's a huge drop, but from what I understand, Apple is making a lot of money on each of those phones. And as economies of scale kick in, they can really lower the price for themselves on actually producing them. So I don't know if it's just that they weren't selling as many as they wanted to, or they were able to really lower the costs, but it doesn't really surprise me that much.
Well, speaking of Apple making money hand over fist, they've now got a new revenue stream. David, tell me about this wireless iTunes music store. I mean, is this going to change the marketplace as we know it?
Well, I think this is one of the things that Apple is really good at. Is they're good at seeing where media is going and where consumption is going. And what's going to happen in the future is that people want to buy their songs or their music or their TV, whatever, anywhere they are, anytime. And that's what this is going to allow people to do. I don't think it's going to be a huge revenue driver for them, at least in the first year. Maybe 2-3 years from now, these sorts of mobile downloads are going to be a big deal. But, I mean, this is where mobile commerce and media consumption is going. People just get stuff whenever the heck they want it.
Ryan, how did you feel when they announced this store? Do you think it's a step in the right direction? Do you see maybe video and podcasts coming to it, soon after?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about Apple doing a Wi-Fi enabled iPod for, 3, maybe 4 years. I mean, really a very, very long time. So there was absolutely no surprise that they finally actually got around to doing it. But yeah, I mean, one of my biggest complaints about it right now is I don't believe that it does anything having to do with podcast syncing over the air.
Right.
And you can't download video.
But you can get charged twice for ringtones. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah,
come on, tell me. Ryan, I know you were there. You were live blogging the event. All around the office, people were slamming their keyboards and doing primitive grunting. I even saw some semaphore cursing with some flags. People are really upset about these ringtones. What was the vibe there?
People are very upset online, on our site, at the event. It was just a really kind of annoying thing. But I actually got a chance to talk to Apple's Phil Schiller, who's their VP of product marketing, and he told me that they actually have to do that because they have to get separate licenses for the music to make it a ringtone. So you actually have to get a different license for your music, even if you own a copy on CD, to make it a ringtone. I didn't know that. I don't actually even know if that's really true. But
Yeah,
that's
Dave,
what I was told.
I'm kind of surprised by that. David, are you surprised? Because I remember back in 1996 being able to put ringtones on my phone without having to pay twice, sometimes even paying once, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but that was in 1996 before the telephone companies and the music industry realized that ringtones could be a multi-billion-dollar market. This is big money. And I think people are kind of disappointed to realize, well, I have to spend 99 cents to buy a ringtone from Apple. But come on, people, this is about baby steps. 99 cents from iTunes is a lot better than spending $3.99 from your cell phone carrier to buy a ringtone,
That is
isn't it?
very, very true, very solid point. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We didn't even get a chance to bring up the old Starbucks connection, but maybe we'll get to another loop very soon. I want to thank Ryan and David for joining us. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks.
And good luck with that new Nano, by the way.
Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7, only on G4.